This is my favorite sweatshirt, but this is also my favorite baby. I think my TikToks thinks I'm like 12 or something, because it never lets me watch videos that say it's age restricted. Bitch, I've shot things out my cooter. I'm all the age.
Not my problem, that's just not my problem.
Your bitch has skin cancer.
What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Channing, and today we're doing a deep dive on one of TikTok's most controversial families, also known as the resilient Jenkins. But before we get into today's video, I do want to express how thankful I am for each of you who choose to watch my videos. If you didn't know, recently we hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel, and it just blows my mind knowing there's thousands of you out there that enjoy these videos as much as I love putting them together. So once again, I thank each of you so much for helping me accomplish this awesome milestone. Now, enough of my yapping, let's get right into today's video. You see, today we'll be uncovering the Jenkins timeline from 2022 all the way up to 2025 in detailed order. But before we get started, let me quickly give you guys some important background information. You see, Stephanie and Andrew Jenkins are a couple that met in 2022, and the way that they met is very interesting. You see, before Drew and Steph got together, both of them were in previous relationships, and both of them also had kids with their previous partners. Drew had 2 kids, and so did Stephanie. But instead of Drew having a relationship with both of his children, Drew decided to walk out instead, only taking the responsibility for one child, which left his ex-wife to raise the other kid without even receiving an ounce of child support from Drew. On the other hand, Stephanie had her own set of relationship problems as well. Before Drew was in the picture, Steph was married to another man who was arrested in 2019 for some of the most heinous crimes that can come to mind. Not only did Stephanie seem to know this, she decided to marry and have 2 kids with this man back in 2015. And technically, she's still married to him due to their divorce never getting finalized. But early in 2022, when Steph and Drew met, they quickly tied things together, moving their family into a 1-bedroom apartment. Now, at this time, it was Drew, his son, Stephanie with her 2 kids, and 4 cats, all living together in this small space. And it's important to mention that neither Drew or Stephanie had jobs, leaving Stephanie to be a stay-at-home mom while also trying to become a full-time TikToker, which left Drew to spend his time playing video games and reverting to side hustles and quote-unquote gigs to feed their family. The Jenkins family also lives off of some sort of government assistance, like food stamps. And this is just a small glimpse inside of the priorities of Steph and Drew while being parents at the same time. You see, the choices that have been made by the resilient Jenkins family led to them being ostracized by their own families, which in my opinion is one big reason why in April of 2022, Stephanie started her TikTok career, posting her first video on April 23rd, featuring one of her cats at the time named Milo, who was actually one of 5 cats that would later be dumped outside to fend for themselves, when Stephanie and Drew would get evicted a few years later. Now, on May 13th, 2022, Stephanie would post a TikTok showcasing what it's like being a mom with 3 kids and even expresses how she wants more.
I went to the doctor with my kids today, and I have 3 kids. I have the 2 girls, and then I have my stepson. And I get in the doctor, and I mean 4 people. The person who checks me in, the nurse, and then there's another nurse who comes in later in the appointment, and the doctor. All freaking 4 of them have something to say about, oh, you got a lot of kids in here. You got a big crew. I mean, like, it's 3 kids, and I'm trying to have, like, 3 more. So, I'm not sure where this, like, perception of, like, it being okay to just, like, oh, you got a lot of kids, or you got, you got a lot on your hands. Like, dude, just shut your mouth when it comes to, like, a mom just doing her thing, Like, just shut your mouth, people. Mind your own business.
Now, after watching this video, one of the first things that stuck out to me was hearing Stephanie say she wants 3 more kids, while also knowing that Stephanie and Drew would refuse to get proper jobs to faithfully raise a child, let alone multiple, which in itself is its own downward spiral, foreshadowing what's to come. And speaking of that, in Stephanie's next 2 videos, she learns that her page is starting to thrive off of negativity, as you can see here.
I've come to the conclusion that TikTok wants to build hate. They want to create hate. Because tell me why the one video I have of me ranting and having like a little bit of a spicy attitude is getting views, is getting comments, and my videos of me and my kids dancing, me and my kids doing makeup and funny stuff, no comments. No, oh, look at you doing your mom thing, girl, build you up. None of that shit. Just a bunch of let's build her the fuck down. So like, why am I just getting rude old Karens in my comment section? TikTok's coming after me. Listen, TikTok, I have plans. I'm going places, and I thought you were the platform to help build me up. So bring me my people. Bring me my people who are trying to build me up, who are trying to be the followers that I need to achieve my thing, okay? Because these Karens up in these comments, these hurtful things, it ain't doing it for me. Okay, so that's the stuff that I just get comment after comment. Literally every time I open up my TikTok, I'd have like 15 more messed up Karen comments. I take the video down, and now nobody's seeing my account. TikTok, what the fuck? Come on, man.
Now, after watching these videos, it's clear that Stephanie thinks, instead of getting a job, that the internet owes her something. And what's concerning is seeing Stephanie's last video posted in May of 2022, where she complains about being a mom, even though she just said that she wanted more kids.
That's fine. That's like 10 minutes of me not cleaning, not being up doing stuff. And I'm like exhausted. Like, I have to do this every freaking day, all day, multiple times a day, and I try to be calm about it, but it's like, bro, it ain't working.
Now, obviously, I'm not a mom, and I'll never be a mom, and I'm also not a dad yet, so I can't really comment on how tiring it must be to raise kids. But wouldn't it scare you, knowing you're raising 3 separate lives under little to no income in a 1-bedroom apartment? Especially with multiple cats in the home. Like, before I even think of having a child, I want to make sure that I can be a provider to not only that child, but the woman who gave me that child as well. And it's painful to know that Stephanie, along with Drew, even back in 2022, were doing everything but setting up a positive foundation for their family. Because even 2 months after the videos we just watched, Stephanie is still spending most of her time making TikToks that get no views while sitting at home in bed.
Just a friendly reminder that even if you're not enjoying the video, you can just kind of like mute it and let it go. But if you care about like people's followers, don't just watch like 2 seconds of the video, like it, and scroll on. You're shadow banning a ton of people, including more. I get no followers because no one wants to watch a full video.
Now, like I just mentioned, on top of having 5 people in a crowded 1-bedroom apartment, the Jenkins family is also a temporary home for 4 different cats, as you can see here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, all of these cats would ultimately be left to fend for themselves when the Jenkins would be evicted in 2025. And it's just concerning knowing this fact while watching some of these older videos, because it only reveals the harsh reality that not only the cats, but also the kids have to endure as time goes on. And it only seemed as if Stephanie cared more about her dreams of being a TikToker instead of being a good mom for her kids, mixing up her priorities in the process.
Random thought on the shitter. It don't matter if you take me there with the followers TikTok. I know where I'm going with my dreams.
Now, as we move on, I could show you guys countless examples of Stephanie complaining about being a mom, then going on to say she wants more kids. There's probably 10 different examples of this happening throughout her TikTok page, where she completely contradicts herself. And I just found that sinister, to say the least. As we move on July 30th, Stephanie made a video basically romanticizing what life would be like without children, as you can see here.
You wouldn't have to go pick up their bedrooms. You wouldn't have to go pick up the kitchen or the living room 15,000 times because it was clean before you had the children, because you maintained it. And then you got to go out on your days off, go out for your day, and do whatever you wanted. And you don't get to do that now, and you need to give yourself some credit. Because it's mother-flipping frustrating when you've got more than one especially coming at you like, hey mom, can I do this? Hey mom, do this. Mom, go make me dinner. You're in the kitchen. Okay, I'm in the kitchen making dinner. But then they come at me with, mom, the cat puked, come pick up the puke. Mom, I just dropped this. Mom. And it's like, bitch, who the fuck is Stephanie anymore? I don't even know.
Now, I understand that being a parent is most likely one of the most loving yet frustrating seasons of life, but at the end of the day, Stephanie put herself in this position. Having kids shouldn't be something you do unless you're prepared for it, and I do understand that things happen, but to a certain point, when you become a parent, you lose the idea of being an independent person when you have a child, because you're now responsible for the health of a whole entire human being, and it's almost something you sign up for when you become a parent. You deny yourself for the well-being of your kids. That might mean saving money on the DoorDash, getting an extra job, just so that child can have a future. So to see Stephanie in any capacity victimizing herself for having kids in the first place is absurd. And you'd think after watching this next video on August 2nd that Stephanie would tap out of having any more kids because of the stress it brings her.
Man, they don't stop. I got maybe 2 hours of sleep last night because if it wasn't one up, the other one's up. And now it's just like every 10 seconds. Mom, mom, mom. Bro, I go in the bathroom and they're right there. I go in the kitchen and they're right there. I go anywhere, they're there. I just want to be me for 5 seconds. Just 5 minutes. I want me. I want to make a video and not have to worry that my kid came in the video and it's going to get taken down. Or I want to watch something on the TV for 5 minutes and I don't have to be like, close your damn eyes, get out of here, because it's my damn bedroom. You have your room. You have your stuff. I don't mess with it. I don't poke at you when you're trying to sleep. I don't come snatch shit out your hand when you're trying to eat it.
But just 27 days after the video we just watched, Stephanie would make another appearance on the 29th, showcasing that she is indeed having another child, as you can see here, even stating that she was 9 weeks pregnant according to her TikTok hashtags from this post. Now, obviously this is pretty concerning because we already know that the Jenkins family lives in a 1-bedroom apartment and both parents don't work jobs. There's also 4 cats running around, but despite knowing that, they still decide to bring more life into their living situation. And what's surprising to see is the following video Stephanie posted where she's talking about being a good parent while her children are playing at the park, as if she's completely unbothered by the fact that there's zero money coming in with another baby on the way.
I don't know, this has been a trend like since I've had kids. I'll go to parks or like just bring my kids out to play somewhere and there's no parents, bro. It's just me. And I mean, and I've also had people come up to me and just be like, oh, can I just leave my kids here? I'm gonna go walk around the corner, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, do I look super trusting? I mean, I am the only one sticking around. I guess that's to assume I'm a good parent, right? I'm a helicopter parent, and I don't hate that about myself. I keep them safe. To me, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is a bit young to be out by themselves right now. And you know that kid, that like one kid that's like kind of awkward, moves different, and like is just like scattered? That's my son. Yeah. Love him to pieces, though. He'll grow out of it.
Now, it's important to mention that during this time, from September to November in 2022, Stephanie's family began to grow cold against her, and it's obvious from the outside looking in that we're not the only ones speculating Stephanie's irrational decision-making either. Even her own family members take note and build walls to protect their peace, as you can see here.
My life choices, my life partners. Barely any acceptance, you know what I'm saying? But like my brothers get a girl and we're all accepting them. She'd be like the sister of the family for fucking 6 months before she'd be crazy, and we all knew it the whole time. But I bring around something solid and you all can't accept it? Like, I'm getting really tired of trying to be there for a family who's not there for me. Period.
Now, what's even worse after watching this video is Stephanie blatantly exposing her use of cannabis throughout her pregnancy, as you can see here.
Smoking is not good for your health, but you know what?
I don't care.
And according to Google, there's multiple studies showing that inhaling the giggle ganja, especially in early pregnancy, can lead to problems for that child later in life. And Stephanie even referenced to microdosing a certain unnamed substance in a video posted on November 27th, 2022 as well. Obviously, as you can tell by the video, she's pregnant while posting this, and we're not really sure what type of substance she was referencing. But despite smoking while pregnant, the baby was eventually born sometime early in June of 2023, and we know this because Stephanie posted a video with her newborn son on June 2nd, as you can see here. Now, at this point in the timeline, it's important to mention that Stephanie is very against the school system, so in protest, she quote-unquote homeschools her kids. But instead of a classic homeschool curriculum, Steph just lets her kids quote learn at their own pace, instead of being bogged down by random grading systems, which results in her kids being far behind in comparison to their peers. And in this next video, Stephanie is showcasing some of the books that she got for this homeschooling arc, as you can see here.
Got some of my kids' homeschool books in the mail. That one, no, I'll open them here. Maybe, hold on. This is so much box for just a few books. But I got some Spectrum books, 2nd and 3rd grade math, and some handwriting books. They're all kind of like close to the same level right now, so I'm kind of sharing the books and just giving them each pages. Dropped it. Till we kind of get a scale of where everyone's at, and then we'll just stock up on some books in a few months.
Which was ultimately followed up by some comments exposing Stephanie's homeschooling abilities from people watching these videos. And I just can't help but feel bad for these kids, because their mother is willingly keeping them from the outside world, even if it's just to go to school. Like, I can't imagine being one of those kids and then going to a friend's house who has their own room and their own bed. And speaking of beds, Stephanie and Drew are the only ones that sleep on a mattress, along with their newborn son, while the other children are sleeping on the floor on top of thin foam mats coated with stuffed animals and blankets. And it seems to me that Stephanie truly does have moments of clarity, where she realizes the situation that she's in isn't fit to raise multiple children, but instead of getting a job or even finding a responsible income, she resorts to TikTok as a means of trying to make money, even though she barely had 300 followers and her videos got no views. Despite that, it wouldn't stop Stephanie from making videos basically every single day, where she's quote staying positive for her kiddos throughout this financial shite show. Now, at this point, Stephanie was starting to do anything she could for views, even bringing up her ex in a video on October 6th, 2023, basically trashing him for his crimes that happened in 2012, which is confusing to a lot of viewers because Stephanie must have known about these crimes, especially if they only broke things off in 2019 after having 2 kids. But as time went on, it seemed as if the stress that Stephanie was adding onto her life while trying to be a mom of multiple young children and a newborn started to wear her down. Because on October 31st, 2023, Stephanie would post a video complaining about her living situation, as you can see here.
Every now and again, I'm allowed to complain about the fact that I share a 1-bedroom with 4 kids, my husband, and 4 cats. And my insomnia is the worst part of it, because the fuck am I supposed to be in the middle of the night when I can't sleep? I can't be in the room with my husband or I'm gonna wake him up. Can't be in the room with the kids and I can't even go do the dishes or I'm gonna wake someone up. And I can't go outside because I live in a town where I'm gonna get murdered outside. So I just want this to not be my reality anymore. Just keep pushing.
But despite knowing that having 4 kids with 4 cats in a 1-bedroom apartment was stressing Stephanie out, she continued to live off the taxpayer dollar, refusing to get a job, along with Drew in the same boat as well. And it's sad because Drew would rather be playing a video game instead of contributing to a more viable living situation for his family. And in the next video posted on November 2nd, 2023, it's hard to watch how Stephanie is so entitled at the grocery store while using food stamps or whatever she is using to purchase food for her family.
I don't don't understand why cashiers who don't have to bag stuff be getting so pissy at the customers for like taking their time bagging stuff. Like, bro, I'm doing half your job, so shush. And then like, I feel like since the customer is bagging all of their stuff, you shouldn't just like immediately start putting another customer's stuff on the freaking belt and like have them staring at the other customer like, come on. Bro, it ain't even my job. It's not even my job. I'm just bagging my groceries because that's how Winco does it. But it's like, I go in there knowing that's how it's gonna be, so I'm not gonna put on an extra attitude when the customer in front of me takes a little bit longer. I'm just gonna like pace myself and be like, whatever. Look, I have a family of freaking 6 to pack or to buy food for. I have a packed ass cart, like it's huge, and the stairs and everything, and the judgmental, oh, here comes another EBT WIC order. Damn straight, girl, if I didn't have that money, my family would not fucking eat.
Like, if I was someone who was receiving free food from the government, I would certainly make it the very last thing on my list to get inside of my car, record a TikTok about some problem in the store, when in reality, it's not that big of a deal in the first place to pack your own bags at a grocery store, let alone when you're not really the one paying for the food in the first place. Like, I can't be the only one who dashes to self-checkout because it's quicker, in my opinion. Now, not too long after this, Stephanie and Drew would decide to send the kids back to school in late November of 2023, but it didn't take long for shit to hit the fan, just a week later on December 5th, because Stephanie ended up posting a TikTok complaining about mold in the household.
We've all been sick for freaking, oh gosh, like a year now. We've just been going through it, and I did previously research like the effects of mold on the body, but I just didn't really take it as serious as I should have, you know. And then I look at it again and tell me why literally every symptom hits what me and my family have been going through. And I have no idea what I'm supposed to do about it. I'm not the person to start a fuss with somebody, but I know that this requires me to stand up for my family and say something, because we should not be sitting in a mold-infested apartment that the landlord wants to do nothing about. Right, buddy? I mean, we have potential opportunity to move soon, and I really hope that it happens, because I'm tired of feeling like crap.
Now, what I found interesting while watching this video were the comments stating that this was probably due to moldy clothes, because as you can see here in a video posted on March 5th, 2024, Stephanie posts a TikTok of her cleaning up heaps of moldy clothes inside the apartment. Then on December 31st, 2023, Stephanie makes a TikTok stating her kids are unbathed, while the cats are covered in fleas, even saying the laundry isn't done and there's no presents under the Christmas tree due to lack of funds. After reading this, you'd think Stephanie and Drew would step it up, but instead, Drew decided to play video games and Stephanie decided to continue to make boring TikTok content, even making a whole video on January 4th, 2024 about her war on fleas.
I got these freaking flea traps a while back, and I want to show y'all how well they work. Like, I just plugged this thing in last night, and it didn't have, I think it had maybe 1 or 2 fleas on it from a couple nights ago when I remembered to plug it in. Look how many it collected just last night, though. Oh no, you can, if it's focused enough, but all them little black specks, those are freaking fleas. This thing fucking works. It's not chemicals or anything in your house. We've been dealing with this infestation for so long that I'm just like, I don't want fucking chemicals in the house anymore. So whatever we have to do to get rid of them without using gross chemicals.
And not too long after that, Stephanie would post a video in February of 2024 exposing their dirty bathtub that hasn't been working in months. Now, according to Steph, due to her social anxiety, this is one of the biggest reasons why a plumber hasn't come to fix it. And after watching all of the previous examples of how Stephanie chooses to live in an unclean, small space while actively adding more life, she has the audacity to make videos like this one here, where she talks about not wanting to be a slave to American society.
There's a fan going in the background, but I'm not gonna turn my background off for you. What you mean to say there is that I should go to school, that I should go the traditional American route to get said education. That's what you mean to say. Because I'm very well educated, actually. I just didn't go that traditional American route because I don't take to that. You know, I don't like to be a
What's another word for slave? Yeah, I'm not like that. Maybe you are. Maybe you're that America. Not me, honey.
And one thing that sticks out to me in Steph's story is how she runs from her problems. Even when she left her ex to be with Drew, that relationship had started very quickly, and it seems like this side of Steph's personality would become a trend, because as soon as she feels as if she's had too much, she ups and leaves to a new location as a way of starting over. Now, in February of 2024, Stephanie would make 2 separate posts about a potential moving possibility, as you're about to see in a second, but things didn't go so well.
And just like that, that opportunity didn't work out. Yet. Trying to be hopeful. Really freaking trying.
Now, obviously, 90% of landlords are not going to want anything to do with a family in the Jenkins situation. And it's not even the fact that they have 4 kids and 4 cats, even though that probably has something to do with it. It's mostly because there's no proper income coming in to even prove that the Jenkins can pay rent. And despite getting denied for new housing, Steph still felt the need to add to her family, even saying she wanted to catch more cats in a video posted on February 24th, 2024.
Y'all know I already have 4 cats. Does that make a difference? No. Because when I move, them babies are coming with me. For sure. The one that we just caught today, fluffy, white, and orange. I have been manifesting that cat for years, bro. The most beautiful cat I've ever seen. My heart instantly was like, no, that's my baby. It's my baby. And my man is like, girl, we have how many cats in here? 4. Does it make a difference? No. That's my baby. Cats make me happy. I'm that crazy cat lady, and I never even knew it.
Now, despite all of the stuff we've covered about the resilient Jenkins so far, it's important to mention that even as of May 22nd, 2024, Stephanie only racked up a total of 300 to 400 followers throughout her 2 years on TikTok, leaving her dream of being a viral stay-at-home mom on hold. But the only way that Stephanie sought out to reach these dreams was by making her family bigger and less manageable, because on June 3rd, 2024, Stephanie posted a TikTok stating that she was once again pregnant, as you can see here.
Holy fuck, I'm shaking. I just had a feeling all day. Oh, I'm shaking. I'm flushed with a fucking lot of emotions right now, y'all. Yeah, okay. Breathe. This is a journey. I knew I didn't feel nothing. I knew this was not the night. Oh my god, bro. I knew this nausea is what I'm trying to say. Oh, I'm shaking, bro. You see how old he is. He's a year old.
So just to draw this out for you guys, in a single 1-bedroom apartment, we have Drew, Stephanie, their 3 older children, a 1-year-old, and a newborn on the way, along with the presence of 4 cats. And instead of working jobs that make sense to raise all of this life, Drew constantly finds himself prioritizing a video game over raising his kids, while Steph prioritizes being a viral sensation instead of being a responsible mom. Stephanie even has the audacity to get mad over the fact that no one is having a baby shower for her.
I'll just come to the realization that, like, this is my last pregnancy, and I think we feel it. You know, I think us moms just, we feel it when we know. This is my last pregnancy. And I'm just a little bit burnt, bro, that I don't get a baby shower for this one either. I'm feeling slightly petty that ain't no one happy for me for this pregnancy either. I see all these videos with all these gender reveals with all the loved ones and all the happy people for you being pregnant. And it's like, yo, if I could just have one person besides my hubby excited for me, that would be great. Or if I could have maybe just had some opportunities handed to me before this baby. That way I could blow some money on myself. But it's okay, you know. It is what it is. God had different plans. He wanted to see me as a humble human, and I guess that's how I remain. Nah, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry about this one.
Now, one of the videos that angered me the most after doing this entire deep dive is the one we're about to watch. As you can see, Stephanie is basically asking TikTok to make her go viral so that she can have more kids. That's like having a child and forcing him to work for you, even though he may want to grow up and be a doctor or something else. These types of parents that find their identity in their kids scare me, because even before they have kids, they lack the individuality to become themselves. And this is why we see a lot of generational curses in today's world, which leads parents like Stephanie to make posts like this one, which was only a week after the last video that we watched. Now, in this video, Stephanie is basically complaining to TikTok for not making her kids viral. And if it's not blatantly apparent to us that Stephanie uses her children as a means of getting clout, then I don't know what to tell you. But surprisingly, after 2 long years, Stephanie would get her first viral video, which brought in a lot of criticism as well as supporters. People even went as far as to sending them gifts, as if the Jenkins family needed any more things to fit inside of a small 1-bedroom apartment. Following their first viral video, the Jenkins decided to make a 10-minute long public response, mostly aimed at people who were criticizing them and the trolls. And for the sake of your sanity, I'll briefly summarize this video so I don't bore you to death. You see, Drew basically took it upon himself to explain that he has another child and that he has been paying child support. He then went on to list all of the different jobs he's had as well. Spoiler alert, a lot of this is flub and lies, because it would then be exposed by Drew's ex-wife later on. Now, in this same public response video, Stephanie and Drew also explained why the kids don't have mattresses and beds, because according to them, the kids are destructive and destroy everything, even saying the kids bent the metal frames of their beds, turning them into hazards. So Drew and Steph decided to get rid of them and get foam pads for the kids to sleep on instead. Now, not too long after that public response, Stephanie's page started to gain a lot of traction, leaving lots of trolls and supporters following their story. And as the new year rolled around on January 26th, 2025, Steph would post a video saying that their newest baby was born. But what's surprising is, after watching this video, we see that Drew is literally playing video games during the very first hours his newborn is in the house. Now, just a few months after this video was taken, Steph would give us an update on March 17th, 2025, stating that they were getting evicted. Now, this is a crazy turn in the story, because all of a sudden the Jenkins family is now homeless, and instead of properly finding the 4 cats' homes, Steph and Drew just dumped them outside to fend for themselves before they left. And what's sad is, one of the cats named Milo was in such bad condition that he was literally going bald. Luckily, a TikToker in the area named Shaylin ended up finding multiple of the Jenkins cats and took them in as her own, creating a much more ideal space for the cats. And while all of that was taking place, the Jenkins would find themselves living in a motel as of March 18th, 2025, as you can see here. But it didn't take long for haters in the comments to notify the owners of this motel, leaving the Jenkins to be kicked out the following day.
I find it interesting you follow us around public and don't want to say hi. Y'all so bold in them comments, but you won't say nothing to our faces. And that's not even enough. Y'all had to make a bunch of hateful, untrue calls to the hotel we're staying at and get us kicked out. How the fuck miserable you gotta be in your own life to come out of family that's not doing anything to you? You sit there and say you want to do what's best for the children, but yet you want to send them to 2 abusive homes. You think it's better to split up a perfectly happy family and send kids to homes they don't even want to be in, to live with people they want nothing to do with. I mean, just make it make sense. These kids are happy where they're at. Home is wherever the fuck we are together. And I'm sorry for the blunt language, but I'm not the one who threw the energy first. Y'all come at me first. And part of me thinks that's why you actually don't want to interact with us in person, is because you know you're not going to meet terrible people and you want so badly to be like, they were terrible people. That's just not going to be the case.
Now, as of right now, we're nearing pretty close to present day in terms of the Jenkins timeline, and it doesn't seem like their situation has gotten any better, because as of me making this video, the Jenkins family, consisting of Drew, Steph, and 4 kids, has been in and out of different motels ever since they got evicted. And not only did Steph and Drew face tons of backlash for their choices, Stephanie finally achieved her goals to become a viral TikTok mom. but for all the wrong reasons. It's just super sad knowing these kids are growing up in such a harsh lifestyle, all because of their selfish parents refusing to create a respectable life for their family. It just goes to show that some people really shouldn't have kids, especially when the goal of you having kids is to make you famous. And as someone who grew up in a home with its own set of issues, I just can't help but feel bad for the children, because they're not asking to grow up like this, and they deserve far, far better. At the end of the day, I really hope that these kids have the chance to grow up and have a bold future, but by the looks of things and how Drew and Steph choose to raise them, those chances look more slim as time goes on. You see, Drew and Steph's relationship is a great example of a trauma bond, where two people leave behind better lives to pursue worse ones, while also contributing to creating more life under the same exact circumstances. It bothers me knowing that these children may grow up realizing a huge portion of their life is online and how different their childhood was compared to their peers. It's almost like growing up in their own version of a Truman Show, unaware of what a regular childhood with two hardworking parents looks like, and that's the unfortunate truth. We can only imagine what this relationship would look like for these kids in the future. I mean, as someone who dealt with a mom who upped and left when I was 14, I can surely tell you from firsthand experience, having an uninvolved parent during childhood only opens up the door for a worse relationship with your kids when they grow up, even risking that a generational curse persists within that family. But with all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video right here. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, and a dislike if you didn't. And please let me know what you think about the Jenkins family in the comments below. And if you ever want me to cover someone, or you just want to say hi, my email is in the description of this video. As always, thanks for making me a part of your day, and God bless.